I felt like the long dull winter was a bit of a cop-out, and what I mean by that I will have to explain with a slight spoiler warning, so I will leave that towards the end. But the long dull winter starts out with mainly Arthur and then some of the other characters, including the Brain and Muffy, feeling like they feel a bit dejected, like they've got no purpose anymore, that they don't enjoy anything, and they realise that it's because they haven't had a holiday in a while. And for the first time, it made me think, okay, a lot of holidays are, especially the non-religious holidays, are very commercial, but actually they do give people something to look forward to, and they do allow a slight break from the norm, and actually it could have positive mental health benefits. And it for a very brief moment, allowed me to look at commercialized holidays in a slightly different way. But they decide that in order to overcome this, because there's not a holiday coming up, even though technically there is, they should create their own holiday. And the majority of the episode is them trying to come up with different ideas, some of them coming up with some slightly ludicrous ideas, such as give Buster Baxter Candy Day, and various others that I won't spoil. And they realise eventually that if they're going to create this holiday, it should be important. Because yes, the commercialisation exists for a reason, partly for making money, but also because it's something people just like to indulge in. But the main reason of the holiday should be to honour somebody important, or to honour an important event. And I thought, that's brilliant. That's a lovely message. If you're going to do something like this, do it with a good purpose. And then that's where I got let down, and I'll explain with a spoiler warning in a moment. I really like Binky in this. Binky was a supporting character here. He wasn't quite at the foreground a lot, but I loved his enthusiasm. I loved when he handed Arthur the cupcake. I thought that was a beautiful moment. I just really liked him in this. It was a really interesting episode up until very near the end. And I thought it provided a lot of food for thought about holidays and consumerism and commercialization of various different holidays. And what it means to have a holiday or a vacation, whether it's a big holiday like Christmas or a little holiday like Valentine's Day. It did provide me with a lot to think about, and I quite enjoyed it. I liked the creative process the characters were going through. I had good fun watching it. So a spoiler from now. I'm going to explain what happens at the end. At the end of the episode, they don't come up with a holiday. And I feel like that's a tremendous cop-out. Because Arthur gave this speech, and then everybody agreed that it should be to honour somebody or something important. And they just couldn't think of anything important to mark in the holiday. And I feel like that was a tremendous cop-out. And I tried to think, if I was writing this episode, what would I have them to come up with? It could have been something even as small as Teacher's Day. I feel like maybe it would take a lot for them to celebrate Mr. Ratburn, but there are things they could have come up with. Or small businesses in the local town day. They could have come up with some ideas quite easily that were quite meaningful, but all they did was show that there wasn't anything important to celebrate, and I felt like that was a bit of a bad message to give. And also they gave up very quickly. So I'm not 100% pleased with the messages there. But the episode up until that point was enjoyable, and it actually ended very well with Binky giving his speech about his proposed holiday. So I liked that aspect, but yeah, I did feel like it was a bit of a cop-out towards the end. But otherwise, I feel like the long dull winter was very thought-provoking and generally really enjoyable.